Semi-final one was a dream. It was a dream because Vab Gang is in the final. Iceland is in the final. And yes, it's semi-final 2 tonight. And Latvia has to go through. But no matter what an exciting and amazing final we're gonna have. I am so happy about the results of semi-final 1. My 10 favorites got through. And it couldn't be better, it couldn't be better. And yes, there are more acts I would have liked to see gone through. But when the rule says only 10 gets through, these are the 10 I think were the absolute best. And I'm so excited about the qualifications. This is gonna be such a diverse final with such high quality, both in like the visual representation since it's Eurovision, but also in its musical quality. We get all kinds of genres here, and the pre-qualified entries, they're amazing, and the qualifying entries from the semifinals are amazing. So let's go through them right now and just see, okay, who are my personal favorites from the qualifiers of semifinal 1. And of course, I'm biased. We gotta start with Kyle Alessandro. We gotta start with Norway Lighter. Kyle Alessandro has been through way much more than just being in Eurovision. He had to pull his wisdom teeth. He lost his voice. He has now been drawn to have multiple exams. Hope after his exams he gets to rest a bit. But I know the world is waiting because the world wants to see a world tour of this iconic icon. Such a kind person, such a kind soul, and I feel like everybody is backing him. Kyle Alessandro has been like a mainstay on the charts in Norway ever since Melodi Grand Prix. And at Melodi Grand Prix, when I was there in the arena, I had different favorites going into Melodi Grand Prix. But when he came on stage, it was clear. He was miles ahead of everybody. He was in a different league, and we could not ask for a better representative. Kyle has made us all so proud. And on the 17th of May, our Independence Day, we have a new national anthem, and it's called Lighter. And they've elevated Lighter from the studio cut to Melodi Grand Prix to what's happening now on the Eurovision stage. Great job by everybody involved. We are super proud in Norway for what we have as our representative. But I couldn't vote for Norway, but who I could vote for was Iceland, and look at the message I got.
Oh my god, thank you so much for the voting.
Yes, I can't believe you voted. It's so a great honor.
Oh my god, I did not expect it.
And then you can vote again in the grand final.
Oh my god, that would be a dream if you would do that.
That would
Grand
be the
final.
biggest dream.
Oh my god, thank you so much, you best.
You best.
I love when great things happen to great people, and these are great people. These are Vab, and it's just, they're bringing the vibes, and I think this is going to be one of the most important entries at this Eurovision Song Contest. Not just because I'm vibing with it and having a good time, but I think this is speaking to an audience that might not feel spoken to at Eurovision. What we see here with like the youth who are watching this, I think this is going to be a very important entry for many, because this is something that's going to inspire generations to be like, wait, I want to do that. That's fun. This speaks to me. The Minecraft aesthetics, the swimming on the floor, the rowing on a boat, everything going on. It's captivating from start to end. It is so much fun. It is just like, no matter if you enjoy it or not, you become happy. You become happy by this because you're seeing that they're genuine, they're having a great time. They've done a fantastic campaign leading up to the Eurovision Song Contest. But if you only just watch the main shows, when you see them on stage, it is genuine. You want them to have the best time ever, and they're making sure that everybody around them are having the best time as well as themselves. And just going to the final is such a big victory. People have written them off as they're not qualifying. Well, they are. They are going to get such a great televote result. I'm picturing it being top 15 in the televote. So this right here went so much further than anybody could have imagined. What a fantastic journey it's been with Vab and Rua. And speaking of amazing, Albania. Albania. I voted for Albania as well. I love Albania. You love Albania because you like good music. This is good music, this is art. This might be a hot take, but I think Albania might have won this semi-final. This right here is so special, so unique, and this is the reason why so many people tune into Eurovision Song Contest. They've elevated this, and they brought us into their world on their own. This did not feel like Eurovision. This felt like their world, and we were guests in it, and we were being captivated by such an incredible journey that we were taking on musically and visually. This has the ingredients to win. We just need a jury on board, because I am picturing this being top 5 with the televote. So if the jury is backing this, this is going to be, well, no matter what, it's going to be Albania's best result, because this is going high. But this might also be a contender to win. I know it's usually not in the conversation, but I just had this feeling now for the past couple of weeks that this will be one of the winning contenders. And it was just proven when they came on stage in the semi-final. I was like, okay, this right here, this is the best. But I did vote for one more entry, and that was Ukraine. I'm very happy that we got to see the rehearsal clip a couple of days before the semi-final, because I had to get used to a new visual identity and a new type of stage show after I fell in love with what they did at the Vidbeer. So their national selection performance I thought was perfect, but I'm really happy they did it like this. With Zifferblatt and what they're doing here with Bird of Prey, it's showcasing the Ukrainian story, but instead of like really being clear in what it's about, they've gone a different way. They're taking you back in time when this type of music was even more popular. They're showcasing a very happy number where there are elements that drags you into the story and what this bird is representing when it's crossing these borders freely to communicate with people who are brought apart. So it's very clear what it's about, while also if you don't read into it, if you don't understand what they're singing, you just can get your own meanings in this. And you can just also be taken on a visual and musical journey that you really enjoy without having to look at the deeper meaning. This is super high quality. It's one of the most interesting songs of the year. My absolute favorites this year are Ukraine and Latvia. So I knew going in that I was going to be very excited about Ukraine, but the new visual identity I really enjoyed, and I was imagining beforehand that I would have a hard time getting into this identity, but they were able to get me on board. They were able to get me excited, and I had to send in my votes for Ukraine. Absolutely fantastic and spectacular, and I can't wait to vote again for it in the final. And something else that I would have voted for, but I felt, you know what, this is certainly going through, that was Sweden. Talking about potentially the winner of the Eurovision Song Contest, and I would be so excited about that. I would be super excited about that. And I've heard this song now hundreds of times. I love this song, and the fact is I'm not tired of it. And what was clear yesterday, because I was at a Eurovision party, was this was the number that stuck in everybody's mind, because we could have conversations, but every time this was coming on the recap, everybody stopped and was dancing and singing and having a great time to Bara Bara Bastu. And I've, as I said, heard this song hundreds of times. I am not yet tired of it. I still want to listen to it. And I feel also with this performance that even if you've seen it like 50 or 60 times, because it's the same as the Melody Festival performance, just a bigger sausage and one less dancer and a bit more elevated, it's like still something you want to watch again. It's still something you want to be a part of. You want to go on this journey again because it's a fun journey. And that's a recipe for success. Because I can picturing us continuing to do this 50 years from now. Still celebrating the Bastu, bringing it up, having a great time, and being like one of those really key Eurovision memories and winners. I think it's absolutely winning. And something else that could absolutely win is going to be Poland. The second half of this number is so energetic. There's so much happening. And it just like, it keeps you on the edge. It's like, you just want to continue to experience this number. And when you think you've seen the best of it, it just gets better and better and better and better. This is iconic from start to end. And this will end up really high on the Eurovision scoreboard. So that were my favorites. Quick comments on the other acts, because I again loved all the acts going through. But let's talk about the Netherlands. The Netherlands was one of the favorites to win this competition before the performances came out. And I agree that this, is a winning song, but it's not a winning performance. I don't think the visual identity is giving those magical winning vibes, but there are some key moments here that are really memorable. And he is super charismatic. You want to see him succeed. So what I'm hoping here is that he's not disappointed about people no longer looking at him as a winning contender, because he's able to showcase his art now to 200 million people. That's absolutely fantastic. And the fact that he is able to come in here with something that's so genuine and so him and so important to him, and something that represents his art, that's the important thing. It shouldn't then matter if people he doesn't know don't vote for it, right? It's in itself, it's silly to compete with music because it's art and it's going to respond differently to everybody. So I'm hoping he isn't too worried about how the result is going to be, because I hope it's going to have more of like the same look as San Marino has with Gabri Ponte, who's gone out on Instagram and said that he feels like he's already won. That's what it's about. He gets to perform again on the big stage, and he's one of the biggest artists in the world. People forget that. We only talk about Blue Da Ba Di Da Ba Da and Tutta l'Italia, Tutta l'Italia. But he has so many hits. He's one of the most streamed artists in the world, and he's on the Eurovision stage, just having a fantastic time, bringing the good vibes. And although this stage show is messy and weird at times, it is fun, it is a party, and this is a chorus you cannot deny. And you can't deny as well the fun of Estonia. Because if you go into this looking for reasons to hate it, you will find it. That's not difficult. It's not difficult to be mad about something. But if you're open to this entry, there has to be at least one moment here where you're like laughing out loud, smiling. Because it's so creative. There's so many fun things happening in this number. And although this wasn't my favorite to win in Estonia's selection, it's grown on me. And no matter if you look at this entry from like the Donald Trump satire side or not, there's still comedy for everybody here. And the moment with like the fan invading the stage to then dance with him, it's so funny. It was so funny. And such funny moments with the security guards. I love their dance moves. They're bringing the vibes. It is a good time. It is a good time. There have many creative moments during this. And the Winner's Cafe is open. And Tommy Cash is not going to win this year. So just enjoy it while we have it. Enjoy the ride. I think Espresso Macchiato is really fun. I'm, of course, wondering how the jury responds to this, because it is catchy and it has like some good musical qualities. But at the same time, the vocals aren't really there, and it's a really clear like comedy track. Whereas with Para Para Bastu, that's a fun track, that's high quality. But something you can't deny when it comes to musical quality and that the jury will respond well to is Portugal. I felt like Portugal was a safe qualifier once we saw what Clement did with his number for Slovenia. When he got turned on his head again, I felt, you know what? It's not a gimmick. Although it's a very serious song, and I'm not saying that it's a comedy song or anything like that, it's difficult, as when you are known as a comedian, to be turned on your head, although that's impressive, and I understand the meaning is that his world got turned upside down and on its head, it becomes another gimmick. And in a semi-final with a lot of gimmicks, you needed that just break from it. And Portugal was that break. Just let the music speak for itself, and it spoke to the hearts of so many people. Portugal is going to do really well, I think, with the jury. It just has to. This is a very high musical quality. It's such an interesting track, and it's like this warm hug. It's a really wonderful entry, and it's going to be nice to have this in the second half of the final, and as a nice little break from everything going on, because it is in many ways a high-paced year. So to have this warm hug from Portugal, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's an absolutely wonderful song. And I think this might be the happiest I've been with 10 qualifiers from a semi-final at the Eurovision Song Contest. This is absolutely brilliant. I'm so excited. I can't wait for tonight's semi-final. Please let me know what you think. Who was your favorite? For me, the one that spoke to my heart was Iceland. I gotta be honest. I am in the Vab gang. I was so excited when they got through. I wasn't certain they would go through, so when they did, super hyped. So happy for them. And then I think the best performance was, I think Albania has to be my number one in terms of like quality of a performance. But Ukraine also was absolutely brilliant, and Sweden was a great time, and Poland was in a different league. So it's difficult. It was great. No matter what, it was great. So all in all, I am very impressed with the qualifiers so far. We're gonna have such an amazing final with all these songs. And I would say also, from beginning to end, really interesting Eurovision semi-final. It was cool to have that wonderful opening and then end it off with like the most interesting reveal of like the artist. Everything was so cool. It was so cool to do it in this manner. I'm glad that they're trying things out like this. It was a nice change of pace. The way of revealing who qualified was already perfect before, but this also was pretty perfect. This was really fun, and it was so exciting to be able to like root for 3 at a time and then just be really focused on those instead of just focusing on the countries that you are hoping qualifies. It was nice to then have the focus on those 3 at a time and get more television time for all the acts. So all in all, really impressed. Love the stage, love a lot of the decisions they made. There are some technical issues, there are some vocal issues, there are things like that, but all in all, it's live TV. We're all human, we all make mistakes, but this semi-final was a great time. I am very, very happy that we are in the Eurovision week, and I can't wait to talk to you again after semi-final 2, when we have the whole field, and we're gonna find out who the winner of this year's Eurovision is going to be. I personally think the winner was in semi-final 1.
Fast och bröd, visa flöden, 100 gram.